Hey cutie pies, welcome back to my channel. I just got back from farmer's market and I stopped at the bookstore while I was downtown because why would I not? I got these cute little flowers at farmer's market, which I'm so excited about. Don't look at my fingernails, they're hideous, but I got these cute little flowers, $5, cutest things ever, smell so good, so fresh. And then I went to the bookstore and that gave me the idea for this video. I don't know about you, I know it's August, but I am ready for fall reading season, and my bookstore does a blind date with a book situation. That's how they get rid of their ARCs that they order for the store or receive for the store, because obviously you can't sell them, so they just have a stack of like ARCs wrapped up by the door. And I saw this one and it's horror, and I feel like they very rarely have horror books wrapped up. The pitch is theater kids versus haunted house, so we're gonna just be reading this in the video this week. Like, that's it, that's the video pitch. So let's open this bad boy up. I don't know who taped this together, but looks promising. Okay, so I guess in this video we're reading A Haunting on the Hill by Elizabeth Hand. I have never heard of this book, so let's just read the synopsis together, shall we? Loving the cover, by the way. We love a good like shiny book. Okay, so it looks like we're following a playwright. We're following a girlie named Holly. She just got a grant for this play that she's been working on. She stumbles on the house as a weekend getaway upstate. She rents the house for a month. Some actors come to join her and rehearse the play. Strange creatures, disturbing sounds at odds with the house. Sounds incredible. That's the pitch. I'm so excited to read this and let you know what I think about it. I'll do some more research on this before we meet to talk again. Looks like it's a really good length. Beautiful formatting. Chapter heads look like rabbits, which is really fun. I'm stoked. So that's the video idea. Wow, this is so fun. I've never done this before. I'll catch you when I have an update, okay? Good morning, it's Sunday. It's dark and dreary and rainy outside. It's not cold because it's August, but it is very humid and dark and rainy outside. And so I just picked this up to start reading it. So I've read the prologue and the author's note so far. And in the author's note, it discusses that this book is actually like a modern revisiting of The Haunting of Hill House, which is why the titles are so similar. So we are actually set like at the original Hill House, which I have read the original work. I think I read it my freshman year of college, so that was a while ago now. That was a good long while ago. And this isn't a retelling, but it's revisiting the setting for a contemporary story set in the same location. So I'm wondering if there will be a lot of subtle like odes to the original story to kind of set a new lens on kind of the societal issues that novel touched on. So anyway, I just felt like that was really important to disclose going in, because I didn't realize that based off of reading the back, but the author's note discusses that this is like the first time that it has been authorized to revisit Hill House as a setting in a book, and I just thought that was really interesting. So I'm excited to get into this. I might see if I can check out the audiobook for The Haunting of Hill House this week at some point, because I feel like it would be really interesting to do a reread of that and then kind of compare these two. I'm sure that it has a super long wait though. I feel like it always does. If I am able to check out The Haunting of Hill House, I'm not going to include that in the vlog, but I'm sure that I will reference it and mention it. I just feel like my memory maybe isn't as good as it could be on that specific story, and I feel like it would be good to do a refresh so I can fully enjoy the parallels that I'm sure this book is going to draw. And I'm also sure that you don't have to read that book in order to enjoy this one, but I feel like that would make my personal reading experience more interesting, so I'm gonna see what I can do on that front. Hey cutie pies, it's actually been a day. I did check out The Haunting of Hill House as an audiobook yesterday. I listened to it all day. It was a good little refresher, and I left my book at work, but I am like 80 pages I think into The Haunting on the Hill, and there are so many like super niche references to The Haunting of Hill House, and also kind of a major spoiler for the ending of The Haunting of Hill House. So if that's something you want to read and you don't want to be spoiled for it, I would definitely suggest reading the original before you read this kind of spin-off version of it. I would say that so far our character personalities actually kind of like ironically mimic the original character personalities that we sort of have in the original story, but in like completely different circumstances, completely different characters. Hi, Tinkerbell. Look at her, she's so cutie. And the writing is obviously contemporary, very easy to get into. There's a little bit of dry humor in there that I think is funny, and there's also a big theme of rabbits in this book, which is obviously kind of a big deviation from the original. There are no rabbits in the first book, at least I don't think there are. I missed it both times if there were. So spooky rabbit vibes I feel like are so common in horror books, and I'm loving to see the manifestation of it in this particular story. It's been kind of a slow day at work so far, so I've been able to read like 40 pages this morning, and I think I got like 50 pages in last night. And I just wanted to kind of pop in and just share that I'm having a fun time and I'm enjoying the book, I'm enjoying the story. I'll throw in a little bit of footage from what I'm doing today, and I'll actually check in with you next, maybe when I'm like 2/3 of the way through the book. It's only 300 pages, so I'm assuming I can get there this evening, but we'll just see. I'm home on my lunch break right now and I'm about to head back, but yeah, I just wanted to check in and say that I'm really enjoying the writing style so far. I'm enjoying the parallels of the story. This is honestly such a great kind of dive back into the world, because I think the author is doing a great job of kind of capturing the original elements of the house with like a very modern twist on the story, and she's doing it really well so far. So I'm excited to see where this goes. The only thing I will say that's irritating is that our main girly Holly calls her girlfriend baby all the time. She's like, come on baby, let's go do this baby, and I just find that so irritating. But that's a personal issue, not a stylistic choice issue for the author on her end. So that's my personal problem, and I think I'm just gonna have to get over it. And we haven't actually met our other characters yet. We've just been talking about them and how spooky it's gonna get. Hopefully it kind of retains a little bit of that dry humor as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I have an update. Hi friends, happy Tuesday. I did get 2/3 of the way through this last night, but as evidenced by my little montage from last night, there was a huge thunderstorm. It lasted like 4 hours. You're making it very hard to film, Gigi. And the lighting was just like not good enough to film an update. So Tuesday, we're on my lunch break. We're gonna talk about this. This is a very classic haunted house story. So I think if you've read a lot of these and you are looking for something that does a really fun twist or is really unique in the way that it's telling the haunted house story, maybe this wouldn't be for you. However, I love a good classic haunted house story, and I mean, it's like a little bit slow and a little bit boring because basically there's just like spooky things happening in the house. But there are some very subtle odes to different spaces in the house from the original story, and there's also a lot of new kind of spectral happenings that were not present in the original. But I love the way that this plot is like mirroring through its own lens in contemporary artistic society. I'm not really sure what the resolution is going to be. I would love to see like a really parallel ending to The Haunting of Hill House in this. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I think that that would be a great way to end this story. Right now it's sitting at like a 4-star, which is great. The writing's good. I think that the characters are interesting and dynamic, and it's very easy to tell the difference between characters, which I feel like isn't always the case in a horror book because the authors sometimes focus more on the scary stuff happening in the plot than making the characters truly feel individual. So I'm enjoying that as well. I wish that it would get a little bit scarier per se. I feel like it's not super creepy, like we're just again kind of dry humor classic haunted house plot, but we shall see where the last 100 pages of this go, and me and Gigi will check back in with you guys.
Just the cutest little kitty. You are. You're just the cutest little kitties. Oh my goodness, you're just the cutest little kitty. You are just the cutest little baby. The cutest babies.
Hello, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Gigi says hi. I did finish my book last night. It's currently like 7:30 in the morning. I've actually been at work since like 4 o'clock this morning, so I'm home now, and I thought we could talk about final thoughts on this book. I will say I feel like the ending wrapped up rather quickly, and definitely in a way that I wasn't expecting. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it did kind of the like classic haunted house thing where the book sort of ends at the climax of The Haunting of the House. I did just want to mention there were actually some lines reused in this book from The Haunting of Hill House, and I thought that that was such a fun detail to add so that like if you've read The Haunting of Hill House, you're picking up on all these other things. But I do stand by the fact that you do not have to read the original in order to enjoy this book or understand what's going on in this book, but I do think that it adds a lot of dimension for the reader if they have read the original. So those are my 2 cents. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? As far as overall rating goes, I think I'm gonna give this a like 3.5 star. It was good, the writing was enjoyable, it was easy to get into. I do think that it was maybe a little bit tedious toward the ending just because we were sort of waiting for something to happen. Definitely some super creepy scenes with rabbits, so that was kind of a vibe. I will forever have like a haunting image of this like 3-foot tall rabbit in my head forever now, I think. And there was also some like witchy things going on in here, but I feel like that plot line wasn't really expanded on at all or discussed or resolved in any way. And I don't have a problem with plot lines in horror maybe not being resolved, but I do have a problem with just like randomly bringing in elements and then like rarely talking about them, but like repeatedly bringing them up and then just not giving us any closure on that one way or another. So didn't love that aspect of the story. I did love the character studies, the character dimensions, which I think I already talked about. I loved the atmosphere of this. We're like set in October. There's like a storm coming through that ends up turning into snow. Very little lighting in the house. Everything's lit by candles. And there was also kind of a like Coraline moment in here. I'm not gonna go into details because I don't want to get into spoilers, but I thought that that was like such a fun added element that differed from the original story. So I really enjoyed following that plot line as well. So I know that this video has been short and sweet because obviously I only read one book. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and watching this video. Please let me know what haunted house books you would recommend. I've read a lot of them, but I'm always looking for new recommendations because I just love a classic haunted house story. I feel like you just can't go wrong there. Leave those recommendations in the comments. Let me know what else you're reading this fall, even though it's not technically fall yet. And I'll see you guys in another video soon. I have some really fun ones coming up, and I'll catch you then.